I didn't say it before, but Rebecca Whitehurst is an actor and a choreographer, and she teaches at St. Edward's University. And she's a multidisciplinary educator who she facilitates collaboration between the arts. And she has some of her own workshops. So if you're interested in that theme, you can talk to her afterwards. Our next reader, I'm so happy to introduce, is Erin Flynn. Erin is the principal of the Catherine Ann Porter School in Malvern. She's actively bringing this beautiful system called restorative justice, which is an essential transformation of any kind of discipline system into a real human exchange. She's bringing restorative justice into the educational system. And she is a poet and prose writer. She has a blog, maybe she'll tell you what it's called.
Thank you. The blog is All the Forms, and the long title is All the Forms I've Taught but Never Done Myself. So I go through. And actually, this is one of my recent blog posts that I'm going to read, and then I have another little poem at the end. I recently started going through my father's things. I had received them in the post a few weeks back, but these things take time. While going through his military memorabilia, I found a repurposed photo album. It contained, for the most part, my poetry written when I was an adolescent. The first page is a list of quotes from authors and thinkers, and taped to the inside cover is a picture. It is faded slightly and has a reddish tint. It is a picture of me and my mum. We are outside a house next to a tree. Mum is kneeling down on one knee. I am standing. I am about 4 years old, I would guess. Our faces are touching as we look to the camera, smiling. I am clutching a blue koala bear. It is not one I remember. It is a sweet picture and it makes me smile, though it also makes me reel a little, just a touch. All the parts of our lives that we do not remember, but our mother does. Fundamental times of development, keys to our personalities, and only snippets linger to us. Many of our firsts experienced by the other, mothers, fathers, guardians of us. I have only their word that my first word was chocolate, though in fairness, this seems accurate to me. What was I thinking when I held on to a chair, table, someone's leg or hand, and reached tentatively toward another desired spot? Tottering along mostly through momentum than design. Was I thrilled by the lack of fall as my foot planted and held me up? I bet, at the very least, my mum knew how I felt. She almost always does to this day. I am not sure when I started to hide these feelings, though mostly failing to do so. Sometimes hidden to keep from getting in trouble, and others to keep from seeing that worried look that said, "Tell me." Maybe this is where the whole fruit in the garden story stems from, the innocence of lost first steps to the shame of knowing all too well. I see this happening in my students. They struggle with the notion of telling, whether about others or themselves. It manifests in many different ways. Some tell too much, giving everything of themselves to anyone who will listen. Others won't speak a word of truth. Others still won't speak a word. All of this I see as a form of preservation and protection. It is easy to see in the ones who guard closely what they have to say about themselves. Yet it is also true of the chatterboxes. They lay everything bare, exposed so that people won't wound them with secret stories. They can brush off the rumor mill with, "Oh yeah, I told everyone about that ages ago." It is true also of the ones who cannot tell a true thing about themselves, always searching for that one story that will elicit approval and connection. Behind it all are the forgotten memories of firsts, the first look of disapproval, the first time being laughed at, the first rejection or withdrawal of love. Chances are their mothers remember, and somewhere deep inside, so do we. As a teacher and now a principal, it is necessary to seek out as a way of connecting, to reach the truth of them, to keeping them safe. And sometimes, I cannot keep what I find to myself. I cannot pretend I did not see or hear what was shown to me. And when this happens, and it does, I run the risk of losing that connection between us. I could say it's because it's my job, but it's so much more than that. It is my responsibility, my calling, my mission, along with all of my colleagues. This is not to say it does not hurt to see them pull away, to accuse you of betrayal, of not listening. But you live with that because loco parentis is our duty, not in place of the friend, in place of the parent. My colleagues and I serve as their guardians. So today's form is an ode, an English ode. The English ode is 10 lines with as many stanzas as the poet chooses. Iambic meter, rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E. C, D, E, C, D, E. And here's my attempt. An ode to mothers from a childless mother. Mothers are the keepers of our secrets, the ones we attempt to hide from ourselves. Ones only she knows and never forgets. Ones whispered in our ambiotic shells. Does she smile sweetly and remember? When her hand passes over her belly, do those whispers sing out to her again? She's the balance of love and protector, and if I may paraphrase Thackeray, mother is the name of God for children. Though of the age, I am not a mother. Perhaps the passing of years will decide. I know only the love for the other, for all those left with me to teach and guide. Their children, they are ours for the meanwhile, from 8 until 4, 5 days of 7. We stand in their stead, loco parentis. We watch as they grow to adult from child. They learn, embrace each critical lesson until they're ready to be without us. And then I'm going to read a poem that I found in my poetry in said photo album, just in case I get too ahead of myself. It's actually called On Duty, and I think I wrote this when I was about 14 or 15. So this keeps me focused and not egotistical. Good morning, what brings you up here? Duty, gotta watch those kids, chuckle, chuckle. Talking amongst yourselves, eyeing us suspiciously, checking all the bathrooms like a walking smoke detector, itching to wail. Hall patrol, lunch duty, bathroom check, pass clarifier. When do you ever teach?